Stars, it's me Missy, I'm back, and today I'm going to be playing some more Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. Now, when I last left off, we had just met our stalker, our vampire stalker lady, who we'd never met before. She showed up in our apartment, and that was an interesting interaction to be had, especially since the lady that I guess is sponsoring us or whatever, just keeping us alive, or her underling, she also walked in when we were trying to get that lady to get out of our apartment. So there's going to be a whole stalker meeting thing going on, and then a couple different other small things, and then probably one big quest with one of our coterie friends, maybe? Who knows? Anyway, guys, with that, let's get to the game, shall we? Yeah, somebody's watched me part 3. You've had enough of Adelaide Davis. It's time to head for Elysium and confront her with Sophie by your side. Let's go do that. Visiting Elysium with Sophie is always a humbling experience. She's connected, well-known, important. You're nobody. You've always known this, of course, but it's especially apparent when you arrive with her. Everyone notices her and she drinks it in like it's her birthright. That's Adelaide Davis. Let's go say hello. You spot the woman Sophie is referring to. Adelaide, your stalker. Intense, disheveled, young-looking. Malkavian, if you've understood correctly. As you approach, Adelaide smiles at you with a darting look of distaste towards Sophie. That's what you are. Cool. Don't worry, I don't judge people by the company they keep. That's sweet of you, darling. Let me say this straight. You can't keep doing what you've been doing. You have to leave my poor ward alone. Adelaide looks from Sophie to you and giggles. The sound must be rare in Elysium because it makes people glance towards you. I know she's making you do this. Don't worry. We'll be together again later. I already have someone. Let's stay friends. Let's try a normal date next time. Let's stay friends. I'm not ready for a romantic relationship with you, Adelaide. Let's stay friends instead. That's fine, don't worry. We can stay friends. Friends who kiss and watch Mad Men together. Please, I'm not ready for romance. I can respect that. I'll be delicate with you. I can wait. We are immortals. The years pass, but the feelings we have for each other are precious. You should know that I'll always be there somewhere. And now I'm just really creeped out. I'm trying to be so nice to you. I could just be a real bitch, and I really don't want to be. Oh, God. Invisible in the night. Sophie chuckles as Adelaide walks away. Of course. I suppose that went as well as could be expected. It seems you have a guardian angel. Have fun. Every breath you take, complete Adelaide Davis's quest line. Somebody's watching me. Lovely. As Sophie steps away to chat with her friends, you feel lonely, surrounded by kindred. You're not sure anyone can really help you navigate this bizarre social environment. Oh, that's really the end? Nothing really, like, truly bad happens? Um... Set out the story Kara, Montgomery's company from within. Street violence. Small grayish bird flying off, small piece of paper left on the windowsill, prospect, ASAP, Tam, faith and myth. Kinda want to do these two guys. Let's do this first. It's kind of magic. Sophie's mention of a vampire clan of blood sorcerers sparked your attention. One of them, Agathon? Whatever. Could potentially be your introduction into the bizarre powers of the Tremere. You arrive at the address given to you by Sophie, a small bookstore, smack dab in the middle of Broadway, of all places. What really catches you off guard, though, is the store's display. From what you've heard about the Tremere, they are infamous for their ties to the occult and the mystical. Ow. And you're now looking at the oddball collection of items in the display window. It all feels borderline satirical. Okay. The books here cover everything from Ayurvedic practices and chemotherapy to wellness and self-motivation. The vaguely amusing juxtapositions don't end there either. There's a copy of Eitan LaVey's Satanic Bible tucked behind a cheap smiling Buddha. Scientific journal on hematology sits next to a teen-oriented pamphlet on the blood type personality theory. Number of religious and quasi-religious symbols, lockets, pins, and various emblazoned paraphernalia are haphazardly strewn across the display and between the tomes. Before you even open the door, you can smell the burning incense and hear the corny Far East-tinged music seeping through the crackling speaker mounted above the entrance. It's much more quaint than what you expected from what Sophie told you about the so-called warlocks. It doesn't look like they have much interest in impressing outsiders. Then again, if there's anything you've learned these past few nights, is that appearances can be deceiving. At this time of night, the shop appears to be closed. Regardless, you ring the bell. You hear someone shuffling around inside. A brief moment later, the latch slides and the door is pushed open just a few inches. Tired-looking blonde in loose clothes appears in the crack. She seems confused, like you just woke her up. She lets out a yawn, scratching at her tattooed neck. Finally, she squints in your general direction. Her pierced lip curves into an awkward smile. Is Agathon here? Looking for a guy named Agathon. Is he around? The girl gives you a suspicious look over, but opens the door. She takes a few steps back, and you hear footsteps come from behind a floor curtain that covers the back door. A bespectacled, smart-looking woman emerges and looks straight at you. Come in and follow me. Just don't touch anything, please. You follow her through the store. Inside, as expected, the stuffy air smells of sandalwood, frankincense, and a dozen other aromas. The woman leads you behind the curtain and through the back door onto a rickety staircase. This is a nice area. I like this. A flight of steps takes you up to the second story. You instantly notice the change in decor as the tacky New Age bookstore gives way to something resembling a cross between a library and a workshop. The smell here is strong too, but much more layered. You're not sure what to make of it at first, but with each whiff it becomes apparent blood. mean, that kind of would make sense there, my dude, but okay. The aroma, though subtle at first, soon becomes overpowering. Takes you a moment to adapt and focus. I don't think you know who you're speaking with, so an introduction is in order. My name is Aisling Sturbridge, and I am the High Regent of the Chantry of the 5 Boroughs. Really? I'm dealing with the Chantry again? Okay. Cool, whatever. I'm gonna take a sip of water, guys. You are Mr., correct? I have to say, you're lucky the ward outside the building is only there for notifications tonight. Otherwise, it would have been quite unpleasant. To answer your question, Agathon is here, but he's hard at work and I wouldn't want to disturb him. I might understand this as a social visit. Hiding above an occult bookstore, really? Sorry, I just can't get over the fact that you're using this place as a front. I mean, an occult bookstore. Talk about keeping a low profile. I realize you're still new to this whole thing, so I'll take that as youthful ignorance and not some misguided attempt at sarcasm. The darkest place is under the candlestick. You've seen the display. Tell me, that's not the last place you'd look for an actual mystic. She's got a point. Now, not that I don't enjoy schooling clueless neonates, but may I ask what it is you're here for? Sophie mentioned who's-he what's it to me. She said he's quite knowledgeable. Yeah. Did she now? Aisling looks you up and down. Her countenance seems unchanged, but you can tell she's judging what you said. Of course. That's new. Suddenly a man enters from a side room. He doesn't even look at you, lost in his own thoughts. Well, aren't you just spooky looking? I have it, Aisling. Aisling? Whatever, I fucking don't care. I think I know how to find it. Catches himself as he notices you, his face turns sour. A visitor? Yes, we were just discussing you, in fact. That's so. Sophie Langley recommended you. Yeah, Sophie Langley recommended that I contact you about teaming up. Teaming up. Seems very confused by the notion. What for? Could assist you in your work. It can be quite helpful, knowing I can count on someone to return the favor. Is that right? He seems to consider it, then turns to Aisling. Hi, Regent, may I ask your advice on this? She looks you over as if judging your worth. It takes her just long enough to make you feel uncomfortable. She takes her eyes off you. She addresses Agathon. Do you feel like you need assistance in your task, child? Ooh. I'm confident I can do it on my own. Pauses, hesitating for a second. But I do believe it is important enough to warrant outside help, even if only for a single night. Another brief moment of hesitation. Of course, the details will remain between you and I. Agreed. On all points. Well, you guys are just straight to the point, aren't you? Why don't you start by giving our intern here a brief explanation on what it is you're after? Agathon gives Aisling a hesitant look, but the woman nods approvingly, encouraged. He turns towards you. Member of our clan disappeared without trace a handful of nights ago. The High Regent investigates if any foul play was involved. I have been tasked with recovering her research notes. If there is anything left to recover, that is. I have an idea where to start looking, and I suppose this is where you come in. If you truly wish to help, I could use your assistance tonight. Right now, in fact, given the time we've just wasted on idle chatter, I should leave immediately. Let's think. Probably the most important thing would be, what's the research about? Sorry, guys. That research sounds pretty important. What's it about? A single glance at Aisling is enough. You can tell you're not getting an answer, at least for now. It's important to us, and that's all you need to know. These people aren't in the habit of making things simple, facing layers upon layers of secrecy. You can only hope that what lies beneath is the real deal. I'm heading out. Are you coming or not? Sure, I'll join you. Curious. Very well. He gives Aisling a slight bow. My regent, with your permission. She nods. Before you go, however, Mr. Defer to Agathon in all things. Our clan values obedience above everything else. Prove you can follow, and this might turn into a mutually beneficial relationship. I will wait his return and his report. Good luck, my child. Agathon bows again and heads out, urging you to follow. The High Regent watches you leave. Outside, Agathon leads you to his car. It's almost funny seeing him get behind a wheel. Somehow, you'd expect a more mystical means of transportation. You drive south, heading to the Lower East Side. Agathon seems lost in thought. Either that, or he's a very careful driver. Either way, several minutes pass in silence. So the High Regent is your sire? So the High Regent is your sire? Oh my god, I can't speak. You guys can read. I'm done. Did I get that right? Yes. He seems to be thinking of the right words before he decides to address you again. Let me ask you something. Why me? There's likely a couple hundred of us kindred in New York. You seek me out specifically. Why? You sounded interesting. Been told of a few younger vampires I should meet. You sounded like an interesting guy. Interesting. I see. Once more he grows silent. You're unsure whether to continue prying, as your driver seems to despair into his thoughts. You drive into Williamsburg and stop by a fancy-looking building. We're here. There's a restaurant on the top floor. You wanted to help, so here's your chance. I need you to get us inside the VIP lobby. Once we're in, I need about half an hour of focus. And some space. It'll be up to you to keep attention away from the room. Can you do it? He doesn't wait for an answer and points to the front door. Go ahead, I'm right behind you. Well, this could be really good or really bad. Two of you take the elevator up to the restaurant. The door opens and you see that there are only a few guests left, sitting at their tables. An important-looking staff member approaches you. Good evening. I'm very sorry, but the restaurant is closing for the night. I can make a reservation for next week if you wish. We're location scouting. Hey, we're not your regular customers. In fact, we're location scouting for a movie. We'll just take a quick look around and we're gone. Really? What the hell? No, I'm sorry, we are not interested in being featured in a movie. I will have to ask you to look elsewhere. I would suggest Smith and Polnetsky or the 21 Club. It's fine, we can come in. Hey, it's all good, we can come in. We'll be in the VIP lobby, it won't take long. The man blinks. A confused smile appears on his face. Yes, of course, not a problem. Please come right in. You walk in, trying to look casual and make your way towards the VIP lobby. You step inside and close the door behind you. Nice. It's a nice place, very highbrow, lots of old, expensive-looking furniture and private rooms to discuss any sordid business one discusses when you're that rich. Your companion looks at you with something akin to admiration. At least that's how you choose to interpret the slight change in his usual somber facade. Not bad at all. Well, thanks. Damn, thanks. Kind of surprised. He inspects the room. It's unusually cold, and Agathon soon discovers why. Looking behind the curtain, a window hangs open. The handle and lock look like they've been dissolved as if with acid. God damn it, Juno! Who's Juno? How about I tell you some other time? Takes a frantic look around the room. This changes things. Keep an eye on the door. I'll need some time, half an hour at the very least. Nobody disturbs me. Understood. Oh, well. Cool. He's gonna do some blood magic thingies, and it's my job now to keep people out of the room. Woohoo! I'm the glorified lookout. He hastily pushes a couch and some potted plants out of the way, moves a bar stool, and takes out a curved knife. Cutting into his own arm, he lets some of his blood drip onto the wooden floor. It's pretty fucked up the way his flesh oozes a deep red, thick vitae. In life, you'd have found it stomach churning, but right now you feel weirdly turned on by the sight. What follows is more disturbing yet. With one hand, he sheathes the knife and seals the wound. With the other, he smears the blood around him while muttering some weird chant. It sounds vaguely Latin, but you're pretty sure it isn't. It's all more than a little disconcerting when he seems to know what he's doing. A few moments later, the circle starts glowing faintly as thin wisps of smoke surround Agathon. He sits down in the middle, legs crossed, eyes closed. Minutes pass. Agathon's face twitches from time to time, and his head turns every now and then as if he was looking around or listening in on a conversation. Smoke grows thicker, forming a veil around the mage. You expected something more flashy, but it's still a sight to behold. You wonder what the point of it is, but refrain from asking. It's probably best to let Agathon do his thing. For close to 30 minutes, you're left to your own devices. Then suddenly the door opens slightly and the manager leans into the room. You tense up for a second, but he just gives you an awkward smile. Anything you need? You shoo him away before he can take a closer look at your companion, and he retreats obediently. 2 minutes later, Agathon casually gets up off the floor and walks over to the sofa. He pushes his hands in between the cracks of the upholstery and fishes something out. He then turns to you and nods. We're done here, let's go. You make your way back to the elevator, passing the manager on your way. He gives you a slight, somewhat confused smile, but neither him nor any of his staff get in your way. Despite that, the elevator ride down feels tense, and the two of you only relax once inside Agathon's car. He starts the engine and takes a right at the Continental Army Plaza back onto the bridge. Just about to say something, but he beats you to it. That went better than I expected, all things considered. Might have been a trick of the light, but you're pretty sure you just saw a smile. I'm used to working alone, but when I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with right now, it might require some more assistance, and you seem capable enough. I can do more, you know. You know I can do more than watch your back while you're channeling Madame Blavatsky. Can you now? I guess we'll find out next time. That seems to to deplete his social battery for the night. You drive the rest of the way in silence. Chief unlocked, enchanted to meet you. Doesn't take you long to reach the warlock's hideout. Agathon waves at you absent-mindedly, once again lost in his thoughts. Hopelessly so. One minute, guys. I'm gonna take a drink of water. Well, I missed that. Whatever. Probably nothing important. I have this. I haven't talked to him yet. Gumshoe in the dark. Recent string of violent killings has Red Hook district of Brooklyn on edge. Sophie mentioned that Cater al-Asmai is a secret associate investigating the murders of Nosferatu neonate by the name of D'Angelo. If you help him out, he might be persuaded to form a lasting partnership. Well, it's almost day, but I don't need to... Well, I do need to rest, but I can still plan. These two are my main two. I haven't talked to him at all. Talked to this guy a little bit, but I'm scared he's gonna get me killed. Sophie requests your presence tonight, and it seems urgent. You find her already waiting for you and clearly pondering something. It takes a few minutes of awkward silence before she speaks. I require your assistance, mister. There is a matter of great importance that I need to ask you to resolve for me. You'll find what I'm about to say surprising, I'm sure, but I need you to hear me out. I need you to contact an important anarch figure in New York City and arrange a meeting for us. What? Our meetings with anarchs forbidden. Wait, I'm pretty sure we are not supposed to meet with anarchs. We're at war, right? Prince does look unfavorably at those who meet with the anarchs. That much is true. You will find that with this, as with many other things, the Camarilla's policies have more than their share of hypocrisy inherent in them. It comes hand in hand with using medieval power structures. What we are forbidden to do, the prince may do willingly. Some of these things can be done in the open, while others are kept secret as to not invite discord and discontent. I need to contact a man named Turku? He is an influential member of the movement and, like most of them, very suspicious of the Camarilla. That's why I'm sending you to extend my invitation. Yes, so if I die, it's not a problem. Because it's not you. Thanks, gee. I feel so loved and important. How do I know he'll talk to me? Why? Why not go yourself? What are you scheming? How do I know he'll talk to me? He won't, not yet anyway. You need to start further down the chain and with the right story to spin. From my limited sources adjacent to the movement, I've gathered that your best chance to speak to... We're just gonna call him Tor. Tor is to first meet with his right-hand woman, Maya. She's a regular at the club called the Leech Pit. Well, that's fucking hilarious. I think it would be best if you presented yourself as an anarch hopeful, a fledgling looking for a place of belonging. Only after you talk to Tor directly should you mention my name and the meaning. Lying to them will make them trust me. I don't think that's the right approach. Lying to them won't make them trust me. When they find out the truth, they won't be happy or eager to work with us. That might be true, but if you tell Maya outright that I sent you, she'll likely cut you off. She hates our sect, and it will be difficult to make her listen to reason. Tonight, I suggest that you do not speak of this again until you arrange the meeting. There are many who would jump at the chance to use this against us. With Kaiser, you have proven you can. You can get the job done, even if it requires additional legwork. I trust you to deal with this task as quickly and covertly as possible. Forgive me, but that's all the time I can spare tonight. Oh my god, what I'm asking of you is just a part of the bigger whole. Trust me, it will all be worth it. I'll do my best. I know you will. Check with Gregory for the address of the leech pit. Have Maya introduce you to Tor. When she does, tell him I wish to meet. Let him pick the time and place, but let it be soon. If he proves too guarded, tell him I have something that will help him gather allies against boss Callahan. That should pique his interest. Good luck, and obviously not a word about this to anyone else, not even any new friends you might have made in recent nights. This stays between us. The way she says that final sentence suggests a not-so-veiled threat, but her warm smile belies that impression. You want her to keep trusting you. You wouldn't want to disappoint her. Gregory gives you the address. The club is in Brooklyn. Apparently, it's some kind of heavy metal bar with a dedicated concert space. Time to pay this Maya a visit. I didn't even get a choice there. This is cool. The place is teeming with people tonight. You arrive in the middle of a concert. The music is loud, almost deafening, and it takes you a while to get used to it. You recognize a phrase or two of the lyrics and realize that you know the song you're playing. Poster confirms your suspicion is a Life of Agony tribute band, and they're not half bad. A group of a few dozen patrons are tightly packed together, and the smell of their sweat and youthful, excited blood overwhelms you momentarily. It's with some difficulty that you turn to the task at hand. We've heard your shout about the Anarch and how they fit into Kid's politics. You only have your short encounter in Corona Park on which states actual opinion of the faction. That might have been just a horrible first impression, but you're keeping your guard up just in case. Make it look proud. Take a walk around the club. There are a few side rooms inside the bar area. Listen in on conversations taking place with the chorus and shouting. Direct in on a particular spot for briefly in the bathroom, but eventually hit the dance floor for a better feel of the place. The concert comes to an end. You witness one of the guests fights the open girl because he was stuck with a much larger guy. She doesn't seem to appreciate him reaching around her waist, slapping him with an audible crack that sends him to the ground. Two bouncers break up the crowd and pick up the drunk carrying outside without so much as questioning the woman. You get an inkling that she might be who you were hoping to find. You approach her as she's about to leave. Nice hair. Yeah, the fuck do you want? She still seemingly embarrassed her teeth for just a moment, but you learned what to look for, and Kindred, you're pretty sure she's one of you. Return to Anarchy. Heard this is the spot to meet hot chicks who hate patriarchy. Anarchs, you could say. Ugh, seriously, that's the best line you can come up with. She doesn't smile, but she doesn't hit you either. Follow me behind the bar. She leads you through the bar to a back door that leads into a side room. Indie metal band posters are plastered on every wall, some of them 20 or more years old, judging from the tour dates. An old sticky table with some rickety chairs are the only pieces of furniture here. Sit down. Sure. Take a seat as the one leans against one of the walls. The name's Mia, whatever. Mia. I'm guessing you visit here is a happy coincidence. Uh-huh. Hi, please don't get my head off. I'm a friend, I promise. I don't know you, so you're either new in New York or kept out an outstandingly low profile. Don't sound suspect, so before we take these pleasantries further, answer me this. Who do you run with? Camarilla, but I'm looking to switch. Camarilla, I guess, but I'm looking to switch. Is that so? She looks you up and down. It's hard to read her. Okay, sure, I'll bite, but let's get one thing out of the way. She leans in. If this is some clever ploy to oust me from my domain, or if you're just here to spy on me and the movement, I'll make sure that you don't enjoy undeath much longer. Got it? You can tell it's purely a rhetorical question. Right, here's the pitch. The Camarilla likes to think they're the vanilla option with the Prince bitch, paying hard, pretending that they were always in charge, but New York has never been a fully cammy city. They might have won the city in '99, but camps have had their asses handed to them many times over the years, and the movement has been here at least as long as they have. Hell, I moved to New York City before World War II, and that was a good while after I saw the Camarilla for what they are, a way to keep us all subservient and in line. Every tower will tell you that they're the only safeguard for the traditions, and that's kind of the problem. There's only one tradition we in the movement feel should be respected, the masquerade, obviously. Everything else, ask the prince and she'll tell you it's a logical continuation of the masquerade, but really it's just a way to keep the elders powerful and in control. She grimaces. But here's the thing, for all the talk of us bloodsuckers being solitary creatures, we need a community to keep up the masquerade. Community, yes, but authority, not so much. We need a council of peers to keep the assholes and power-drunk fledglings in check, but not a feudal prince to tell you where to feed or who to hunt down when they step on her toes. She takes a brief break from her indignant rant. So you anarchs don't have a ruler? A ruler, no, but leaders, sure. Most follow old boss Callahan's lead. Most, but not you? You make it sound like it's most, but not you. Yeah, not me. If you're concerned about being well received in the city, you might need to go through Callahan, but if you're serious about the anarch cause itself, he's not your guy. Callahan eats up fledglings like you and shits out self-preservation. His position as Baron is mighty shaky now, not least due to the fact he's backstabbed more than his share of allies. So he's doing what any other old fart in position of power would do. He's doubling down. Negotiations are out, intimidation is in, tightening ranks as a precaution against the Second Inquisition. She surprises you by hacking and spitting on the ground in disgust. If you spent some time with the Cams, that should sound very familiar to you. He's no better than Panhard and her cronies are at this point. Now you need to contact Tor, and wouldn't you know it, it's your lucky night, because I'm the lift to do it through. How is Tor different? How's he different from Callahan? Motherfucker, you're really asking for it. Her anger flares up again. I pretend that was just a naive question and not a half-assed jab. Tor is a leader, a local baron, who's overseeing a small domain, but doing a very good job of it. Callahan knows this, so he's giving him shit. Tor is taking it like a champ. He's smart like that. For one of us rebels, he's got the patience of a saint. It makes you think back to how things used to be way back when. The stories are to be believed anyway. You want to meet him? I'm going to require a show of goodwill first. What do you have in mind? That's fair. What do you have in mind? She flashes you a mischievous half-smile. Appreciate your readiness, but I don't have the details just now. Ask for me at the bar. When you're able, I'll leave something for you, and we'll take it from there. Now come on, I gotta go. She walks you out of the bar, and you go your separate ways. Seems like there's nothing more to do than return later and see if Mia really can help you contact Tor. Not this guy again. Oh. Frank Daughtry, a shining example of journalistic excellence, is trying to get in touch with you. This can't mean anything good. You're just leaving your haven when you notice a small note slipped under your door. You pick it up cautiously and fold it open. I know what you are. I know everything. Meet me at the beautiful View Motel, where everyone else will know too. The note is signed Frank. Of course, Frank is fine. We gotta kill Frank. Cursing under your breath, you check the beautiful View Motel. It's located in Queens. Getting there will take some time. Something in Frank's note suggests urgency. You run out of the apartment. Stepping into the beautiful View Motel, you can't help but think that the name makes promises that the building fails to deliver. Outside, there's nothing but an ugly parking lot, empty. The paint marking the parking spaces almost completely worn away. Standing in the lobby, it feels like there's decades worth of stale cigarette smoke. You're happy not being able to breathe anymore. The furniture looks like it was picked up from a yard sale in the 60s. There's something appropriate in the grubbiness of the surroundings. They fit the image you have of Frank perfectly. It's appropriate to find him in a place like this. I agree. You nod to the old woman manning the reception desk. She seems totally uninterested in what you're doing, her eyes glued to the small TV perched on the desk. Cop show. Walking deeper into the motel, you find a lounge that might have aspired to a kind of lavish comfort in its glory days. Now it just feels sticky, like you need to wash your clothes afterwards. Lovely. Frank sits on a bar stool. There's no bartender, but Frank has a shot glass in his hand. He looks even sweatier than usual. What's up, asshole? How does it feel not knowing everything? Not to know everything. You stop and look at Frank a little closer. He seems drunk, not a good sign. Despite everything, in your earlier encounters he maintained a baseline of professionalism. You're drunk, Frank. Sure, I'm drunk. Fucking hell. Frank's voice descends into incoherent muttering. You stop to consider what to do. You're not used to dealing with Frank in a mood like this. He seems more confident and depressed at the same time, as if he has a secret that gives him power but also brought him down. You go behind the bar. Let me pour you another, Frank. As Frank looks at you, rummaging on the shelf. You rummage the shelves until you find a half-full bottle of cheap whiskey. You pour it into Frank's glass and then find another shot glass for yourself. Thanks, asshole. It sounds as if Frank still wants to be angry at you, but he can't quite muster the energy anymore. Frank sounds like he has plenty more bitterness inside him waiting to come out. Let me tell you something else. An ear-splitting sound fills the lounge, and a bright flash blinds you for a second. An irrational panic grips your dead heart as the sunshine you're going to burn to death in a cheap motel in Queens. As your vision adjusts, something whizzes past you. There's a series of thunking sounds, something impacting the bar. Frank is lifting the massive shot glass graciously, and miraculously still in his hand, a massive bloodstain spreads across his shirt. For a bizarre, incongruous moment, you stare at the thing sticking out of Frank's chest. It's a crossbow bolt. Another two lie shattered next to the bar, having missed their targets. One missed you by a hair's breadth. What's happening here? Turning around, you see figures dressed in black tactical gear storming into the room in near eerie silence. Perhaps the flashbang damaged your ears. They drop their tentacle crossbows and lift up rifles. Oh shit. Who comes prepared with a crossbow? Frank slumps to the floor. A wooden crossbow bolt will paralyze a vampire, but struck through a human heart it kills. The scent of blood fills the air. Fight the assailants, make a run for it. Facing a highly trained force of well-armed commandos, there's only one thing to do: run away. You don't even stop to think, just follow your reflexes as you duck behind the bar and dive through a staff door as bullets hit the wall next to you. Fortunately, the blessing of blood don't care whether you're being brave or a coward. The blood speeds up your body as you rush through the back room, past the empty beer kegs and the half-full boxes of liquor bottles. Spotting a back door, you burst outside into the night. Running around the corner of the building, you see 4 SUVs parked by the motel's front door, all black with tinted windows. A man and a woman, middle-aged, dressed like detectives, stare at you in surprise as you run past them. One tries to yell something at you, stumble to your car, wrenching the door open and turn the ignition. For a terrifying moment, you fumble with the keys, but then the car starts and you floor it, careening onto the highway. You run into Sophie's building, past the surprised-looking doorman. Time is of the essence. You pound on the door of Sophie's apartment, more for the sake of your own nerves than because you think it's any help. After a few moments, Sophie herself opens the door and looks at you. Surprised, she doesn't have her makeup on, her hair is disheveled. You've caught her on a night off. What happened to you? As you step into the apartment and follow Sophie to her living room, you see the remains of a party. Empty glasses, a faint smell of blood in the air. You have no time to contemplate Sophie's social life, however. We're being hunted. We're being hunted. We're all going to die. Sometimes I regret taking you under my wing. If you don't calm down, I'll feed you to whoever is after me. Sit down and stay calm. I'll check whether the apartment is still secure. Sit down, suddenly unconscious of the vast gulf and experience between you and Sophie. She's managed to stay alive for a very long time and knows how to survive. You only hope that you'll survive along with her. For the next hour or so, you sit on Sophie's sofa, answering minute questions about Frank and the commandos who assaulted you. At intervals, she makes murmuring phone calls to mysterious contacts. After a longer while, Sophie lets you go. You should be safe, and more importantly, I should be safe too. I've taken measures to secure both of our havens, but keep your eyes open nonetheless. You leave Sophie's apartment wondering whether to survive another ambush like this. Journalistic intervention. Whether you'd survive another ambush like this. You know, it may not be the bravest thing, but running keeps you alive sometimes. And when you don't have something as powerful as, I don't know, rifles, it's a good idea just to run. Faith and myth. I need to rest, okay? And let's rest. You arrive at the Leech Pitch, finding it less rowdy than the last time. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Instead of the old crackling speakers are playing music that would probably sound like noise even on high-end hardware. Mia is nowhere to be seen, but you do remember she requested that you ask for her at the bar. You approach the bar at the bar. A bartender finishes pouring a beer for an older guy in a faded fraying Iron Maiden t-shirt. She turns to you. What can I get you? I was told to ask you about Mia. At the bar. To ask about Mia at the bar. Yeah, well, she's not in tonight. She looks you up and down, and a sparkle of recollection shines in her eyes. Oh, yeah, that's right. She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter, some kind of young adult vampire novel, and flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the pages and passes it to you. She told me you'd be interested in reading this. You find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. T wants to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the Leech Pit for a guy named Bruce, buff dude, tattoo sleeve on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's somebody's retainer sent here to spy on us by the cam. Give me the name of his master and write it on this card, then return it to the bar. Doesn't take you long to locate this Bruce guy. He sits alone in a corner, 2 beer glasses already empty on his table. Take a moment to consider your approach. Get him drunk and talkative. The man immediately notices you but doesn't move from his spot. The other seats are empty. Hey, do I know you? You look familiar. Oh yeah, I think I saw you here before, right? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I was at the concert the other night. Oh yeah, that's right. And then you went behind the bar with that hot chick. What'd I do for some time alone with her? Anyway, anything I can help you with, or are you just looking for somebody to chat with? Buy you a beer? Bought another beer. I'm buying. Don't say no to beer, and I definitely don't say no to free beer. Short while later, you return with the drink. The guy has been eyeing you the whole time. He picks up the glass and takes a big gulp. Oh yeah, that hits the spot. Takes a second drink to really loosen him up, and a third to make him somewhat more chatty. You learn the story of his tattoo. He tells you about his gym routine, an actual drama series that's been watching on YouTube, and where his favorite spot to fuck girls is. At no point does he let slip anything that would point him to being somebody's ghoul, though. In fact, you're beginning to suspect he's not really as drunk as he acts. Well, that was nice, but I gotta go. Thanks for the drinks. Hey, wait a minute. You haven't had anything to drink all this time? Cut the bullshit. Okay, cut the bullshit. I know who you are. I'd like the name of your master now. Any suggestions of his drunkenness is immediately gone. I have no idea what you're talking about. He smiles, seemingly confused. Come on, spit it out. Come on, man, who's your master? Simple question, simple answer, and I'm out of here. Doesn't bite. You thought you had him corner, but he suddenly leaps over the table in one smooth motion and dashes to the sparse crowd. You catch up to him, and outside he's bolting. All right. Catch up to him. Throwing caution to the wind, you focus your blood and get chased after Bruce. He might be faster than a human, but his abilities are a fraction of yours. He dashes into a nearby alley, and you follow suit. Before he can jump the fence, you tackle him to the ground. Short while later, you are standing a few meters apart, Bruce eyeing you with hatred. Tell him his cover is blown. Listen, your cover is blown. I was told who you are. You better come clean your master's name. That's all I need. Bullshit. Besides, she'd kill me if I told you, and I quite like being alive. Beat the name out of him. You clash again, but this time you're not pulling any punches. Bruce's ribs crack. You dislocate his shoulder, break a few of his teeth. When you're done with him, he's a mess. Please, oh fuck. No more, man. Please. Ready to talk? Samira. Her name is Samira, okay? Just no more, please. You leave him there, battered and alone. He should have talked when he had the chance, or at least that's what you're telling yourself as you make your way back to the leech pit. Time to leave something for Mia. You borrow a pen from the bar and flip Mia's note to the other side. Bruce mentions she, so his master must be a female, but that's all you've got to go on. You figure it's better to leave something for Mia than nothing at all. Leave a note on the master's gender. Mia asks you for a name, but it's all you have is Bruce's master's gender. It's hard. You'll have to do. You jot down a note. Bruce referred to his master as she. You pass the piece of paper to the bartender. She sticks it back in the same book. Hold on 1 second. She wanted me to pass something on to you. She produces herself from behind the counter. It's ancient, at least 15 years out of date. All right, and this. An old charger from the piece of junk in your hand. Old charger for the piece of junk in your hand. They really did think of everything. She said she'll be in touch. Okay, I guess that'd be good. Takes you a moment to remind yourself how to operate this thing, and you find that its phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connectivity and no saved messages. You've got a version of Snake, though. Bartender is already over at the other end of her domain, taking orders from patrons. With your Anar contact nowhere in sight, you decide to move on for the night. Hopefully your educated guess based on the scraps of info you collected will be enough for me to call you. Double Spiral. You and Hope set out to destroy Kara, Montgomery's company, from within. Let's do it. Host Shirley scribbled message reaches you in your haven within an unmarked envelope. You find a barely legible address you're supposed to reach and the hour you're expected to arrive there. There is it then. The night of the final showdown. This is it then. I can't read or speak today, guys. I don't know why. You check the clock. There's way more than enough time to comfortably reach your destination, but you decide to take a drive earlier just in case. The ride is uneventful, but becomes more and more tense as it goes on. The gravity of the situation starts getting to you. You're about to set out for an operation against a key New York City figure, well connected with both human and vampire elites. What if her security overwhelms you? How will the council react to your raid? You can only trust that Hope has thought it all through. She doesn't seem like the type who'd attempt a suicidal mission. I'd hope not. Which isn't something you typically say about a person who regularly inflicts violence on herself in front of the camera. When you arrive at your destination, you find yourself in front of a building with a double spiral logo on it. This must be Montgomery's headquarters then. You look around the streets and notice an obnoxiously lavender Mazda car parked nearby. Even though you've never seen it before, you might have an idea who it belongs to. You park your own car at a distance from the double spiral building and approach the Mazda. A familiar figure is behind the wheel, holding a smartphone in her hand. Knock on the window. She opens a window without turning her eyes from the device. Whoa! You're early. Good evening. Yes, good evening for a glorious death. She lets a dead silence linger in the air for 10 seconds, and she stops typing, diverts her eyes from the screen, gives you a melancholic stare. And winks. Of course she winks. Psych. God damn it. Come on, what's with that face? I suffer from too much FOMO to let myself die. I've got accounts to run, notifications to check. Plus, no way in hell I'd allow Montgomery the satisfaction of a draw. We're going there to secure a flawless victory. No time to wait. Let's go. She gets out of the car and motions for you to walk with her. Anyway, glad you managed to make sense of my ugly scribbles. I totally forgot how exhausting it is to write stuff by hand. Still not as exhausting as having to deliver messages personally to someone's door. Next time you meet Langley, ask her to get you a flip phone or something, okay? You reach the front of the building. We're about to burn this shithole down to the ground. With Kara inside. Burn it down with Kara still in it? No, she's out at the moment trying to sell services she won't be able to offer. You see, our job is easy. We need to get in, destroy the server containing all the double spiral research, and walk out. No spectacle, no dramatic showdowns. Now I know exactly what you're going to say. But wait, Hope, if this data is so priceless, shouldn't she have external backups? Is Kara a complete dunce? Excellent question, my neonate friend. The answer is yes, she's a dunce. But aside from her numerous negative qualities, she also has a positive one. She's totally paranoid. She used to be a naive dumbass who couldn't even cover her laptop camera, but she lost trust in all external companies after a little cyber espionage incident. Cool. She's obsessed with not uploading her precious data anywhere online. Now she only has one physical backup, hidden deeper inside the headquarters. That doesn't seem very smart. Nobody has an idea of where it might be, but I do. Normally I'd never be able to reach the place. Double Spiral is like an underground base. The walls and doors are reinforced both out against the living and the dead. But the answer to this problem is simple. We only need Kara to lend her voice so that we can override all the security measures and get to the heart of the facility. What do you say, Kara? Will you help your girl out for the old time's sake? Hope quickly writes something down on her phone. A few seconds later, a nearly perfect imitation of Kara Montgomery's voice escapes her speaker. You know it. Let's bust this bitch open. Well, it sounded... Wow, the sound quality is incredible, and the voice sounds only the tiniest bit off. Whatever she paid for that tech, it was worth it. Oh, and if you're afraid of consequences from the camera, don't be. I'm assuming full responsibility and my ass is covered. I've got some favors to collect and to offer. Besides, Kara's a goddamn snake and everybody knows it. No important player will miss her influence. They will only tolerate her in case she hit it big with her tech. It's all about cash in abundance. Life's a bitch, and then you die. Some parts sound a tiny bit too robotic. Could there be a pattern here? Too bad she won't ever get the chance to succeed. So without further ado, shall we? Hope starts. Marching toward the revolving door, you close your eyes, make an effort to sharpen your senses, and follow the Malkavian into the lobby of the double spiral building. There's a social security guard at the entrance. He raises his voice to ask about your business, but is stopped short by Hope's commanding voice. No need, we're expected. The man looks lost and disoriented for a moment, then the gears in his head slowly begin to turn, and he nods his head, silently opening a gate leading to the elevators. Hope heads into one of them, and you follow. She presses a button, and the car starts heading to the lowest floor. Eventually, the doors open. Welcome to Carl Montgomery's Deadly Dungeons, mister. What appear before your eyes are the dimly lit corridors of an IT office, empty and silent. The air is stiff and dusty, and there's a sharp, rotten stench in the air that you're unable to identify. The menacing atmosphere makes it so hard to recognize at first, but it looks like an active workplace. Really is a dungeon, although a corporate one, where people are cheated of life. Well, that's very fucking accurate, Jesus. You feel a pang of anger. This is the real face of class warfare. There are the conditions people in power would offer us if they didn't feel a need to keep up appearances. Let's just get to the first door and test my little car out. You follow her until you reach the end of the corridor. There you encounter an expensive-looking reinforced door with voice controls on the side. Hope pushes the button. A robotic voice comes out of the speaker. Semiotics. Seriously, come on. Hope types the word on her phone and lets the virtual car repeat the password. Semiotics. Sound rings out, reminiscence of cues the TV quiz shows used to let the contestants know he gave a wrong answer. Verification error, please try again. You give Hope a nervous look. She bites your lip and presses the button again. Hyperreal. Tap, 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 tap. Hyperreal. Access granted. The doors slowly open. You notice your companion is wearing a sour expression. Looks like the tech isn't quite perfect. At least the passwords seem randomized, so we can try and brute force our way in, unless the system locks us out after a few failed attempts. Shakes her head and turns to you, her lips attempting to approximate a sincere smile. Well, we can only hope that the data we've collected is enough. Into the B small we go. She marches into the room, and you walk in right after her. The doors lock behind you with a loud thud. It's a wide-open office. It would be as murky as the corridor you just left if it wasn't for rows of monitors illuminating the space. A shadowy figure stares at every screen in the room. Carr's voice plays from Hope's speaker. Behold, this is where the magic happens. A family of driven folks, hungry for success, always taking the bull by the horns, building a high-performance culture together. None of the figures raise their heads. They're too busy programming, organizing spreadsheets, and typing in endless strings of text. What's wrong with them? What's wrong with these guys? Don't worry, they're likely just a bunch of ghouls and whatnot. Hard-working, conditioned, tireless, low-maintenance, kinda dumb, perfect workers. Probably won't leave their seats unless we make them, but let's not. We've got more important things to do, like destroy a few years' worth of their work. The figures don't stop pounding away on their keyboards. In fact, they don't react to our words at all. Alrighty, so do we go straight to the server room, or do you want to check one of the side rooms first? Your call. I prefer to wrap things up here as fast as possible, but hey, little car here with us thanks to the data you've gathered. You betcha. If you think you can use her voice for something useful, hey, feel free to do it. You look around, think how to respond. This door looks curious. Actually, let's try this door. You approach the door with a huge sign saying staff only. Next to it, you spot familiar voice controls. Hope nods at you and pushes the button. Vaudeville. Hope taps the screen on her phone a few times and puts the speaker next to the door's microphone. Vaudeville. Vaudeville? Verification error. Access denied. You push the button again. Vaudeville. Looks like this one doesn't have a randomizer built in. Won't do any good to keep trying. The capital wins once again. Let's move on, comrade. For a second, you wonder if there's anything you could have done to succeed here. Then you shrug your shoulders and follow Hope out of the room. In the depressing corridor, reeking of who knows what, you expect Hope to walk to the very end again, but this time she stops halfway and starts mumbling under her breath. Wait, was this or was it this door, or don't tell me she moved things around. Looks like she's been here before, not a surprise in itself, but she gives off an impression of a person who used to know the entire layout of the building very well. After brief reflections, Hope approaches the door a few feet away and pushes the button next to it. Apocalypse. Well, that's cheery. Apocalypse! Access granted, you walk inside. At first glance, this office looks very similar to the last when you entered. Rows of screens and rows of listless silhouettes in front of them. Hope, however, quickly spots a difference. Target confirmed, moving to data room. There's a room with endless machines at the back of the open space. Hope walks in, takes out some hardware out of a bag that she's carrying and begins the process of removing the data. Should have invested in SSDs, sis. Time to bust out my portable degaussor. She turns to you. This will take a good minute. I've got a few other tricks up my sleeve. If you find something that interests you, let me know. Should you wait near her or take a look around? Look around. Take a look around. Might find something interesting. Have fun, dear. Have fun, dear God in heaven. I know I will. You start walking around. For a while, you notice nothing but errors that start popping up on the screens here and there. The ghouls try to fight against them, but quickly realize it's futile and surrender. Eventually, you find a door with voice controls. You open. You call out to Hope. She pauses her work for a second and approaches you. This door, huh? At least. All right, let's give it a shot. You press the button. Canoe and kayak. You watch over Hope's shoulder as she types the password with incredible speed into a homemade-looking app. Then Car's voice sounds out. Canoe and kayak. Access granted. All right, you know where to find me. She gets back to her data as you start exploring. Well, not that there's much to explore. It's more like a closet. Inside, you find all sorts of bizarre items scattered around the shelves. Some old newspapers, a Windows 95 for Dummies, book, a 4 gigabyte MP3 player, a hookah biography of Amy Winehouse. Finally, you find a little box marked with smiley face. When you open it, you're surprised to see something you recognize. A bunch of post-it notes with hand drawings depicting tattoo patterns that can be seen on Hope's body. Leave the closet and go back to the data room. Then you wordlessly pass the box to Hope. At first, she seems annoyed to be dragged away from the work, but when she notices the post-it notes, her eyes become dinner plates. You found those in that closet. You nod and look at her unexpectedly. She takes a deep sigh, closes the box, and puts it in her bag. Car and I have a history. Pregnant pause. Don't expect me to lay it out here. It's not something I want to revisit anytime soon. But I'm very, very grateful you gave this box to me. You don't even know how much. She tries to find the right words to express something, but after some brief consideration, just hand waves it away. Alright, we're bound. We'll bond, reminisce, and get high another time. Now we've got a job to finish. She gets back to her hardware. You think she's completely absorbed in her work again, but then quickly knows she's doing her best to have her back facing you at all times. A while passes, finally you hear a triumphant yell. All done, baby! Looks like those boys are finally going to get a break. Realize that the constant silent rhythm of mechanical keyboards has stopped. The workers are all idling, slumped over their desks, completely resigned to the fact that their raison d'être has disappeared. Hope hurriedly collects her hardware and motions you to follow her after her. Alright, we're almost done. Now we just need to take care of the backups and we can get the hell away from here. Take a glance at the ghouls and follow her steps. In another corridor hardly discernible from the previous ones is a giant underground complex. How much money has Montgomery spent on it? Hope looks around, frowning, mumbling something indecipherable. Eventually, she points in front of her. There, this is where she must keep the backups. The sturdy metal door, unlike any of the others in this building, right next to it, however, is a voice-based security system you know pretty well by now. Please, 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 just no last-second surprises. She hesitates to do it, but eventually she pushes the button. Eternal return. Dutifully types down the term on her phone. Eternal return. Access denied. Please try again. O pisses under her breath. This time you push the button. Double spiral. Tap, tap, tap. Double spiral. You feel like time has frozen for whatever reason. It takes longer than usual for the speaker to deliver the verdict. Access granted. What a relief. The metal doors grind loudly as they invite you in. This time you walk in first and hope follows. Wait a minute. You recognize this place. Shouldn't be here, but there's no two ways about it. This is Hope's Haven. Same bed, same decoration, same ambiance. It's all a lot more dusty, but... Backups are in the back. I'll just get them. She seems a little sheepish as she approaches the double spiral devices and unpacks her own hardware and to take care of them. You take in your surroundings. Just keep quiet. Hope keeps quiet as well, working diligently on destroying her rival's life. She makes it obvious she doesn't want to re-examine her past. You rest against the bed, quietly watching Hope's technological wizardry and wondering about her past relationships with Carr for who knows how long. Every second you spend here, you become more impatient to get out. Eventually, the devices surrounding the double spiral backup start disappearing into the bag they were taken out of. It looks like the process is nearing completion. You decide to approach the door before it does. However, before you can make a move, the door begins to make a grinding noise. You freeze, watching them open. Behind them stands the very person you were afraid would appear. That's the punk t-shirt you hoped you would avoid seeing tonight. Jesus fucking Christ almighty. Hope raises her head and their eyes meet, both of their faces momentarily turn to stone. Oh. You could pick out any emotion from their stares, and you'd probably be right. An unbearable tension fills the room as nobody wants to make the first move. Eventually, it's Hope who decides to break the stalemate by loudly pressing the enter button on her laptop and immediately dropping it into her bag. Doubt it's anything more than provocative, the Malkavian letting her opponent know she won, but it works. The noise makes Montgomery snap out of her stupor. You psycho, you fucking demented, vindictive psycho. The air turns thick with murderous intent. Hi! Hope pretends she hasn't noticed Carr's bloodthirst becomes palpable. You were supposed to be out on the other side of the city right now, at the meeting. I'm notified about every failed voice authentication attempt. I got back here, expecting to find some idiots still trying to make their way through the front. Well, surprise! She looks around. But I never expected. Just how? Hope reluctantly types something down on her phone. I'm the CEO of Double Spiral, and I endorse wrecking my shit. Carr grimaces at the sound of her own voice and quickly connects the dots. You fucking gremlin! How do you get your hands on that kind of tech? Even I... Company secret. Hope's provoking her. No two ways about it. Carr knows it. She's trying to keep it cool. I built this paradise for you. For us. For yourself and nobody else. What happened to the Hope I used to know? She can't come to the phone right now. She's dead. Regret the day I let you into my life. Stop lying to yourself, Carr. You only regret the day you let me out of my life. Shouldn't have let your mask slip, honey. Snappish response almost escapes Carr's mouth, but she manages to stop herself before letting the discussion devolve into a childless spat. Just tell me there's a copy of my data you haven't ruined, and I'll let you out of here alive. She gives you a hateful look. Both of you. Hope tilts her head and flashes an evil ear-to-ear grin. Not a single bit of data remains, more than a decade of your work. Down the drain. Welcome to the worst night of your life since the .com crash, Miss Montgomery. Carr looks at you, looks as if a stake was just driven through her heart. She starts to collapse, sliding down against the door like she was sinking deeper and deeper into her personal hell. Hope just stares at her torment, wearing an indecipherable expression, waiting for her rival to reach the floor. Then she does, and there at the lowest point of her life, she finds something unexpected. I never ever wanted to do this. This is not me. Her voice sounds completely different. But if there's only one way out of this mess, I'm going to take it. I'm going to get my data back. Hope looks confused for a second, then understanding dawns on her. Come on, Carr, you wouldn't dare. You started this game. Now accept your loss. The game isn't over until all players are out of moves, honey. Baring your fangs now? There are two of us against one, even if you commit the sin of Diablery? Last time something like this has happened to me, I was ready to die. I think I'll take my chances. It's not like I haven't dreamed about feeling my fangs inside you for a long, long time. So you want to give me this one victory, prove once and for all that I was right. It was never about me, but about all the stupid garbage in my head. A victory? Please. Victories are material. They aren't like your little online arguments. She's serious about this, mister. She wants to devour me as a whole, sacrifice her humanity in exchange for access to my soul and everything I know. Stay away, mister. You want money, data, domain privileges, a position at Double Spiral. Anything you want, you can get if you just look the other way. Don't listen to this shit. The moment that Prince finds out, it's final death. For Kara runs, moves resemble a beast more than human, immediately closing the distance to Hope. Then she jumps at the Macavian with a wild animal hunting her, like a wild animal hunting her prey. Hope instinctively attempts to defend herself, but is immediately overwhelmed. Laying on the ground, she looks like a deer in headlights. Kara, on the other hand, looks like a bear ready to maul its victim. You want to react, you need to do it now. Separate them as quickly as possible. You push yourself to the limit and your powers take over. The world slows down, letting you run up to Kara and Hope in the blink of an eye. You immediately grab Montgomery by her clothes and attempt to yank her aside. However, the moment she recognizes your touch, she immediately attempts to swat you down. Despite your superhuman speed, she's still almost as quick as you. Her limbs keep zooming wildly towards you, your vital areas. You dodge every one of them, but each time feels like nearly jumping out of the way of an oncoming truck. You back away, better try something different before she gets lucky and hits you. Calmly look around. Wait. There's no point in just rushing in blindly. Kara's like a feral animal right now. You don't wrestle with those. Use tools to overwhelm them. You look at Hope's bag. Could any of her devices help? No way in hell. Think harder. You look at the bed, the pillows, the canopy, hooks hanging down from the ceiling. Bingo! Grab one of the hooks and yank the chain. It's long enough for your idea to work. You run up to Kara, who's about to maul Hope like a wild animal. Then you stab her with all your strength. The hook gets deep underneath her skin. Kara yells, but there's more surprise than pain in her voice. You quickly wrap the chains around her a few times, then you step back and start pulling with all your strength. Kara's taken by surprise, still not understanding what's going on. She loses her balance and gives her victim a chance to escape. Hope takes it, still dazed. She takes a second to understand the situation, but when she does, she runs to you and starts pulling the chain with her. You've never handled her alone, but Hope displays surprising strength while pulling the chain. A minute later, she's hanging above the floor like a butcher's carcass. The end of the hook is stuck to her chest, and it's sinking deeper as she struggles. However, she's flailing so wildly she might free herself before it puts her out of commission. You use one hand to desperately search for something that can help you under the bed. Belt, handcuffs, a whip, a giant cattle prod. You have no time to act bemusedly. You put it in her hand and turn it on. The device must be modified. The power current is so powerful it causes scarring. Almost immediately, she's getting weaker and weaker. I kind of feel bad for Kara right at this point. I can't help but laugh though at this stupid situation that we've gotten ourselves in. Why, Hope? It takes Kara a while to accept defeat, but eventually she does. This is all fucked. Her body seemingly lifeless, her head hanging down. She looks like a grotesque portrait of defeat. The hook must have reached her heart. It takes Hope a long time to collect herself. Eventually she manages to speak up. Guess we've got up to this point, huh? We've gotten up to this point, huh? Just like Kara before, Hope starts to talk in a completely different way than she usually does. You have a bad feeling about this. You want to add my data to yours. You know I can grant your wish, except now that way you've imagined it. Starts mumbling and circling around Kara. For the first time since you've met her, she acts like she doesn't have her phone in her hand. This violent aura. Malkavian looks deeply into your eyes, and she knows you know what she's tempted to do. You silently beg her not to do it. It doesn't feel right. She makes her decision. She smiles beatifically, and it feels purposely fake. Be my witness, I haven't harmed her. You left her here with me, and you have no idea what happened next. Voice is still changing from what you're used to. She's not having fun. She's driven by malice. I've disabled security, so you're free to leave now. Call me whenever you need me. I'm a part of your coterie now. I'll repay my debts, or whatever. You give her a suspicious glare. Doesn't faze her, though. Still got some unfinished business here. She turns to Kara's listless body. Puppet is dangling sadly by a single thread. It would be smart of you to leave. Her tone makes it clear she's not willing to discuss anything. Your relationship is strictly professional. You sigh, shrug your shoulders, and head out the way you came from. Light of New York. Extremely online gal. Achievement unlocked. Lights of New York welcome you above ground. See you soon, Hope. Hope you don't get into trouble. Try to celebrate the new addition to your coterie, but Kara's face appears before your eyes over and over again, making your victory bittersweet. Rest. Piece of paper sticking out of your mailbox. It's a computer printout, a note, and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads, "Meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from here." From there, no signature. The place marked on the map is the lookout point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mia passed on to you. No new message, no missed call. It's all a bit fishy. There's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. So you go downstairs. As soon as you wake up, one more glance at the phone. No news from Mia. You take the car down to Brooklyn, park on Front Street, and approach the meeting spot cautiously. Figure of about Mia's size is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out towards Manhattan. As you approach, you can hear her muttering something. "It is true, but I do not think it's true. I do not think it's true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then..." "Are you the one who left the note?" "Hey, you the one who left the note at my apartment?" The woman turns around. It's not Mia. Whoever it is, you have never seen her before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. The ink on the paper did the message leave. The ink on the paper did your face here bring. You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly and threatening, approach you. One of them takes the lead. "So you got the message?" "I did." "What now?" Now you'll come with us. Boss wants to meet you." "Kaiser? What does Kaiser want this time?" "Kaiser, no, you stupid piece of shit. Boss Callahan says she get a move on. We've got places to be." The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your consciousness, the litany of gibberish ever present throughout this entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles. "Or we can do it the hard way." Agree to go with them. "Yeah, okay, I'll go with you." "Smart." They lead you down the pier and onto a motor boat. The engine starts. "Put this on." He points to a cloth sack. One of the guys is holding you down. The woman is still there, whispering to herself. Somehow you hear her voice clearly in your head. Comes a nagging suggestion to put the sack on your head. You don't really want to do it, but your hands go through the motions all the same. It takes 15 or so minutes to reach your destination. You think the engine dies down, and you are led ashore and then further up on an incline and through some overgrowth. 10 more minutes of walking, maybe, until a deep voice reaches your ears. "Vincent, my dear boy, why the hood over our guest's face?" "Well, boss, I thought..." No, that will not do. How many times do I have to repeat myself, Vincent? You don't have to think, you have to listen and do what you're told, yes?" "Yes, boss." "Well, take that ridiculous sack off their head, will you?" The hood comes off. The owner of the deep voice's curious sight, dressed in what can only be described as Victorian clothing, with a monocle and graying red hair. "Is this Callahan?" "Apologies for Vincent's unacceptable behavior. He can be a little thick sometimes. Isn't that right, Vincent?" Yeah, sometimes a little. I believe you already know who I am." "Your boss, Callahan." "Your boss, Callahan. Right, you are. And I'm guessing you know my role in this city. I represent the Anarch movement. Well, I'm not quite sure what you represent. I have invited you here to find out." Now let me make myself perfectly clear. I am disappointed in you, truly disappointed, but I arranged this meeting to allow you to make amends. First, though, I have to make sure you understand what your infraction was, so do you know why you're here? Because I wanted to meet with Torque. It's because I wanted to meet with Torque. Ah, yes, you're not stupid, so that's a nice change of pace. Torque is the reason you're here, or that little angry strumpet of his. I'm told, yes, Mia. Oh, how I'd love to get my hands on her gaunt neck and wring it until it breaks. But see, I'm a statesman, and that's not the prudent thing to do. No, indeed, the prudent thing to do is tolerate both her and that blasted ebony-skinned mentor of hers. Look at what the world has become these nights. Here I am, lambasting a black man and a woman in front of a whelp of Asian descent. My papa, rest his soul, would not believe it. Finished with your disgusting rant? Oh, fledgling, you have no idea who you're messing with. He looks at you with rage in his eyes, and you feel insignificant and vulnerable, and irrational fear takes over you. You cannot speak up against this man again, you just can't. He's too terrifying. Now that I have your full attention, I will request something from you, and you will obey me to the letter, but that comes later. First, you will answer a few questions, the first of which is, who pointed you to Mia? Nobody was my idea. Oh, really, and what was your intention behind the meeting? I needed Mia's help. I needed her help with something. Oh, come now, you'll have to be more specific than that. I need to know exactly what it is that you discussed. I wanted her to explain the anarchs to me. I just wanted to learn about the anarchs, so I asked her about the movement. Oh, child, you should have come to me then. I am the anarch movement in New York City, and nobody makes a secret out of it. You bet on the wrong horse, as I'm sure you'll soon learn. See, that wasn't hard, now was it? Of course, I can't be sure how much of what you told me was true, and how much of it was worth about as much as yesternight's horse shit. But I'll find out. I always do. When I do, we'll have another one of these nice talks, and maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid this upcoming unpleasant episode next time. He gives Vincent a sign, and the burly man starts hitting you all over. You feel teeth, ribs, and fingers break. Your foot is mangled under Vincent's boot. Your shoulder dislocated. Your nose wrecked. That's enough, Vincent. Leave them be. He snaps his finger in front of your face a few times and checks if you can focus on his face. You can, but barely. I'm a man of principle. Another night, I would perhaps put you in a casket, dip it in concrete, and drop it in the Hudson. A favorite of mine during the Roaring '20s. It's been a while. But like I mentioned before, I am nothing but prudent, and so the interest of this city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. Here's what I require in return for this boon. You are forbidden to meet Torque. I will keep an eye on him. If you want a place with the anarchs, you go through me and only me. Got it? You have to understand what I made my associates do to you tonight was just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that or your final death. Time to go, Vincent. Take the boat back. Leave the fledgling here. I think they have a lot to think about. Sure thing, boss. Pleasure meeting your acquaintance. Callahan walks away, as do Vincent and his band of thugs. You lie on the ground for a while longer, feeling blood slowly putting your body back together, your hunger growing. You can hear the beast calling for sustenance, for safety, for revenge, distance, but pronounce their desire. It's not until you mend yourself enough to appear more as a mugging victim than an impossibly mangled walking cadaver that you hail a passing taxi, and head back to your haven. You give the driver your address and pass out. The darkness greets you. Some time passes, you think. You feel somebody shaking you. Open your eyes at the driver. You think he's asking you if you're all right. His words change to a muffled shout. He goes silent. You think he tastes great as a tired caffeine-pumped taxi driver with high cholesterol can taste. When blood pours down your throat and flows to your limbs, mending them. He is growing cold, but you still do not have control. You are still observing, not acting. Your body is not yours. The beast is in charge. Regain control. That's enough. No, it's not. I said that's enough. It will never be enough. Enough! You break away from the man he's dazed but conscious he grumpily says something about feeling tired, leave money on the driver's seat and let him rest in the back. The four familiar walls of your haven are blessing the beast inside you keeps nagging, but you have reined it in tonight, not a small feat given your state. You are still weak, but you're still not quite mended. You need to rest. Tomorrow you will have to feed again. Tomorrow you will have to consider your next move. Callahan is not the kind of man who quits, but tonight you rest. That sucked. Waking up tonight feels different for two reasons. For one, you are pleasantly surprised that your body mended reasonably well while you were resting. Comes with a caveat, though. The hunger you feel is pronounced, the beast like a black dog on the edge of your vision, following you. What was truly remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone and unknown numbers. Calling the phone you got from Mia, you pick up. Kept that old thing charged after all, huh? You all right? I feel like shit. No, actually, I feel like shit. Though that's too bad, but I don't really care. I was just being polite. I'm calling with good news. Torque has agreed to meet you. There's a pub in the Bronx. Solids and Stripes be there tonight. Two things. No drinking on the premises, so if you want to grab a snack, do it before setting foot in the borough. This is an exclusively no powers meeting. We'll be rubbing shoulders with commoners the whole evening, and also we don't trust you, so keep it casual and you'll blow it. Anything you'd like to add? Will you protect me from Callahan? For a meeting, I need you to offer me protection from Callahan. I met him yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbade me from meeting Torque. Silence on the line. Fuck. More silence. I can't promise you any protection on your way there or back, but at the pub you'll be in Torque's domain. For all his posturing, Callahan doesn't have the balls to strike Torque directly. We'll post additional lookouts on watch. That's the best I can do. If Callahan got under your skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too. All I've got to say is the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I won't blame you. It's the one-time offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. Just don't do anything stupid. You meet with us tonight, it better be in good faith. She ends the call. First things first, you take the subway to New York Street Station, walk to Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving back to your haven. Feeding opportunity, trust your intuition. You've been doing this for a good few nights. You're getting a feel for it. You're learning what kind of predator you are and what kinds of blood you crave. You're so caught up in yesterday's problems, and in this cloak and dagger debacle, you're now a part of it. Of that, the hunt feels almost automatic and casual tonight. A fragment of your surrenders control. Just minutes after you find your victim, coax them and drink them. From them, you find you've forgotten their face and how they were dressed. It only hits you once you look at yourself in your car's rearview mirror. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody, a human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your humanity and not let yourself slide down the spiral. Instead of clearing your mind, this clouded it further, and you are still not closer to a decision. Drive around before going to the meeting. You do intend to visit Torque tonight, but you decide to drive around for a bit first. Something tells you that there might be somebody tailing you. It sounds sensible to try and lose them. Spend a good 2 hours looking in your rearview mirror, driving all over the city before finally driving to the Bronx. You take some basic precautions as you enter Torque's turf. You park a few streets over from where the pub is and walk towards it while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. The kindred, for the most part, look no different from regular people. Makes things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. Reach the pub, a final glance around. There's nobody suspicious around as far as you can see, and open the door. The smell of cigarettes is overwhelming. The whole place has an aura about it. A constant fog hanging right under the ceiling. Lethargic. Fans do nothing to dissipate it. Constant crack of billiard balls and clinking glasses tells you all you need to know about this clientele. Not a very vampiric place at all. You're wondering if you got the address right. You apparently did. Mia's here. She motions you over to one of the few tables around. Took your sweet time to get here. What got cold feet? Never mind. Anyone follow you? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe I have a look around and it seemed clear enough. You're not the best person to judge that then. My lookout let me know you were coming a few minutes ago. Before I introduced you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You didn't prove very helpful at the bar. Carol, the bartender, mentioned that you made an effort. But as you can imagine, there's plenty of licks who use feminine pronouns in this city. Still, I'll take whatever I can get, so thanks for that, I guess. Come on, Torque's right here. You walk toward one of the tables. A guy in a coat and hat leans over to take his shot. He's way ahead of his opponent. The table's clear of his balls, save for the 8-ball in a tricky position. Hey, they're here. Be with you in just a moment. The hit is fast, precise, and sends the black ball exactly where its player wanted it. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh. That's that. I believe that's 150 American dollars, Joey. You want to pay up now or up the stakes again? The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and pays up, then declares he's going to grab another beer. The victor go the spoils. Thank you kindly. He turns to his full attention to you. The man is good-looking, if somewhat gaunt and intense. His eyes especially seem to pierce right through to your core, but not in an unpleasant way. Name's Torque, whatever. I'm gonna call you Tor again. I believe you're Mr. Sophie Langley's new plaything, is that right? That's right. Yeah, Mia told me as much. Forgive me being real with you right off the bat, but I like to know who it is I'm dealing with, so here's something that I've been scratching my head about. If you're new with Langley and Langley's cam, through and through, I'm told what it is you come to accomplish here tonight. Sophie wants to meet with you. Sophie Langley wants to meet with you. Don't ask why. She didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callahan. I'm here to arrange that meeting. The fuck? I knew nothing about this. They lied to me. Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue and at you as if she was figuring out the best combination for the two. It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you weren't straight with my second in command. That I don't appreciate. Well, ain't that an interesting proposition? You can't be seriously thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardline cam. It's a trap. It must be. It just might be. It just might. He looks at you, pierces you with his unnaturally keen eyes. He's about to say something when a door opens at the back of the room. Hey, Tor, you got a guess? They're in the back. Mia, won't you be a dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is. Sure thing. Tor tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Mia glares at you, this time weighing one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she has half a mind to chuck it at your face. You gotta be quite happy with yourself bluffing your way in here. It's not just Sophie I'm here for. Might have started as a task for Sophie, but I'm glad I could meet you, and Tor, don't hold it against me. No, I'm totally going to hold it against you, and for a while you made me look like a chump in front of Tor. Here I was beginning to think you might make a good addition to our little family. There's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now. Tor appears from a door at the back, calls across the room. Yo, Mia, can I grab you for a second? Mister, get over here too. You two go to the back room. It's basically a storage area with a single wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering there are 5 other people in there with you. Tor ushers you in and closes the door behind you and Mia. 2 burly dudes are holding something down. A familiar voice reaches your ears. Motherfuckers, you gotta pay for this. You hear me? The boss is gonna fuck you up so bad you'll have no idea. Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Karudi before, mister? Yeah, we met yesterday. You were fucked. You're so fucked you don't even know it. You stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told you to stay away. You should have just listened. That's a story and a half, ain't it? Vince, calm down now and tell me how many of your guys are still out there on my turf, Go fuck yourself. You're done. The boss will know this stupid piece of shit fledgling came here. He knows they're with Langley. You know what that means, Tor. No, I don't. What does it mean, Vince? Now the boss can wipe you out. He'll just say you're sucking Langley's tits and all those buddies of yours. Go on, you're done, Tor. Well, now, if that's the case, I guess ridding New York City of your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, that's an idea. Vince mentioned that he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, mister? You want to repay the favor? Gladly. Go right ahead. Steak. There's an old Pokio in the room. May I? Knock yourself out, kid. Break it over your knee. Fuck, you always wanted to do that. Approach Callahan's thug with a sharp piece in your hand. Don't you fucking do it, fledgling. Don't! You slam the improvised stake in his chest. Hit hard on the first try. Vince's features grow slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even give out a yelp. That's it. He's all yours. Take him downstairs. Let Callahan keep guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy. I'll figure out what to do with that cum guzzler later. The other two anarchs who held Vince down before take him out of the room. As intimidating as it was, I think Vince, in his unmatched wisdom, shared more than Callahan would hope for. This changes things. Ever heard about Operation Lightout, mister? It was a second Inquisition effort here in New York City. A single night of raids at a magnitude never seen before or since. The Ivory Tower got away with just a few losses here and there. No major players were hit. They managed to find safe spots and stay out of the eye of the shitstorm. Us, though, we got hit hard all over town. Havens were rooted out, entire coteries and safe houses gone. Just like that. Nobody saw it coming. I barely got out in one piece. Mia looks at him with concern and puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs it off gently but surely. Others, like my child Barb or Mia's sire, extinguished, but you know who got out without a scratch? Callahan. We've thought about it for the past few years. How is it that Big B managed to excuse himself from the Staten Island Museum where we used to meet just before vans full of guys in body armor show up? How is it that my baby is burning up after being shot with incendiary rounds? I also see Doug Callahan running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the SI. I think the bastard knew what was coming, and he set us up. Not just us, some of our brothers and sisters who got hit had some of the lowest profiles in the city's lick population. The moral of the story, Callahan is an opportunistic motherfucker, and even if his thickest followers suggest he's going to sell me out, then that's what he's going to do as sure as the sun rises. Pauses for a moment, and you see him reach a decision. You said something about Langley having an offer. For me, it might be your fault. Might be your fault in part that I'm at this juncture, but now's going to be as good a time as any to listen to what she has to say. I don't think that's wise, T. Well, what would you have me do then? You say it yourself. It's all this fledgling's fault. They brought this on us, so let's use them as the bargaining chip. Callahan wants them. Langley wants them. They're valuable. Me? Valuable? I'm just a pawn. No, you're wrong. I'm just a pawn. That's why Sophie sent me here. Plausible deniability, all that. I'm expendable. Realization that you just summarized the entirety of the 2 weeks or so hits you hard, but if was a moment to be honest with yourself, it's now. Fuck. The man puts his hand on Mia's shoulder. She calms down a bit. We're afraid, mister, but then what else is new? It's a paradox being who we are. The hunter one night, the hunted another. Masters of the night, slaves to dawn, a duality to everything. Yeah, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my call and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will. Count on it. He smiles and takes on a no bullshit look and points at you. 3 conditions. First, you come pick me up personally and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Mia's coming with me. Second, Mia's coming with me. No way. 2 ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting. The 2 of you, the 2 of us, nobody else. And third, the meeting is in public. Downtown, some spot frequented by mortals. We see you, take us anywhere fishy, we check out and fuck you up as a message to Langley. I count on it not coming to that. Though, you seem likable enough, the cam hasn't gotten its talent in you yet. Keep it up and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion we did in your own time. I repeat your conditions to Sophie. I'll make sure to repeat your conditions to Sophie. You do that. Best be on your way. Ask for me here when you need me. The bartender knows how to get in touch. Just ask him to put the owner on the line. He walks up to the door and accompanies you to your car. Listen about what I said before. Yeah, what about it? I panicked, that's all that was. It was unfair, what I said. If anything, it's my fault. I'm angry with myself, and that makes me angry with you. Ah, forget it. See ya. She starts walking back to the bar. She starts the engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Time to give Sophie the good news. She welcomes you as openly as ever, clearly excited to see you and for what news you might bring. Good evening, mister. How's your task going? You have something for me, perhaps? It's done, but cost me dearly. I did what you asked, but got into some serious trouble. They almost killed me. Killed you? Who? Slow down. Tell me what happened. Callahan forbade me from meeting Torque. Boss Callahan's goons grabbed me yesterday and forced me to meet with him. He was very clear that I cannot be seen talking to Tor or he'll have me killed. I went and did it anyway. I appreciate your dedication, I really do. I'm sorry I got you hurt, though. Thank you for following through. Well, let's hear it. What did Tor agree to? You relay the Anarch leader's conditions. You are to pick him and Mia up. The meeting should only include the four of you, and it should be held in a public space. Those are all fair enough, although I do worry about Mia's character. Tell me, do you think she's trustworthy? She's fine for an Anarch. Met some Anarchs over the past few nights, and she's one of the most agreeable ones. She's fine, I guess. I see, very well. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meet in Hudson Yards, the vessel. Plenty of tourists visit that place, but if we go there after midnight... She seems to have made up her mind. Yes, bring them there tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level. Will they agree to meeting in the city? Do you think Tor and Mia will agree to a meeting in the city? It's Camarilla territory. Won't they be too cautious to come here? They'd ask me to pick the spot. They not. It's public and in the open. They should love it. Pick them up at midnight, then drive back to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting as long as it takes within reason. I'm counting on you, mister. The final puzzle piece is about to find its way to its destination. After that, we will all agree to get our just reward. You, me, the Camarilla, even the Anarchs. I could kiss you. Yes, you'd like that. You desire it. She must have caught it in your expression. She smiles. A figure of speech, darling, or at least it is tonight. But a few nights from now, who knows? I'm growing fond of you, and success whets my appetite for these kinds of things. The sexual tension in the room becomes unbearable until it suddenly disappears. Was this another one of Sophie's tricks, or an actual spark of arousal, both your undead bodies? You certainly felt the blood flow through you for a short moment. The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. You didn't think you could do that anymore, or did you just imagine it? Yeah, use the rest of this night well, mister, and rest. We are but a day sleep away from shaking this city awake. Battle of the Cloisters, a tapping on the window, a small grayish bird flying off, a small piece of paper left on the windowsill. Prospect ASAP Tam. As you open the blinds, you're about to spot a small grayish bird flying off into the night. Looking down, you notice a small piece of paper on the windowsill. Prospect ASAP Tam. Third time's the charm, you think to yourself as you once again cross the gate of Prospect Park and head for Tamika's Haven. To your surprise, you find her out in the open, sitting on the lawn, surrounded by a host of woodland creatures, birds and squirrels mostly. The critters each patiently wait their turn. As she flicks seeds at them, it looks almost whimsical in a twisted sort of way. How are you holding up? Hell of a week, huh? How are you holding up? Well enough, all things considered. She scatters the remaining seeds onto the grass and hops to her feet. I've been doing some digging. The Inquisition has a safe house up in Manhattan. I think that's where they're keeping him, the scarred one. I'm gonna pay them a visit, kill that thing, and as many of those SI bastards as I can along the way. Is it really worth it? I know you want revenge for your sister, but at the very least, it's clear Clear violation of the masquerade, yeah, and that's the least of our worries. Throw in a legion of armed goons standing in our way, and an all-powerful vampire as the cherry on top. There's more to it than just revenge. I think it can help me find out who I really am. I know it sounds corny, but I can't really explain it better than that. Trust me, I'm not taking this lightly. It's just something I have to do with or without you. Oh, what the hell, I'm in. Who wants to live forever, right? I'm in. Me too. Emerges from the shadows a mere few feet away from you. Son of a gun finally managed to sneak up on you. Tamika eyeballs him as he gets closer. You've seen that look before. She's clearly asserting her position, but this time it comes off as a formality rather than an actual challenge. How long have you been there, Raoul? Long enough. I'm still not buying that whole scarred one bullcrap, but taking a bite out of the Inquisition's collective ass is just too good to pass up. I want in. Better believe it. I was there, saw it with my own eyes. I'm sure you saw something. Whether or not it was the literal boogeyman they scare young pharaohs with is a whole different story. And with no due respect, you're hardly a fucking expert on the subject. Now can we move this along? I'm itching to kill some SI fucks. Tamika? You got an opinion? I guess I know who the alpha is around here. He should come with us. He's got the right to be there to see the scarred one with his own eyes. Plus, my brother can be a pain in the ass, but he's one hell of a fighter. There you go, Tam's seal of approval. It's settled then. Let's go. Fucking finally. And with that, you leave the relative safety of Prospect Park, steeling yourself for things to come. As you get closer to this destination, you get the sneaking suspicion that Tamika's been pulling your leg. Following her lead, you take a turn from the Broadway to Fort Tyrone Park. It doesn't seem to make sense. You think to yourself, there's only one spot between here and the Hudson River, but it can't be, can it? Sure enough, at the stone facade of the cloisters comes into view. Tamika motions at you to keep out of sight. How the hell is this well-known tourist trap a hideout for the Second Inquisition? The cloisters? Seriously? That's the Inquisition safe house? Talk about hiding in plain sight, huh? This place used to be a lot of things. Now it serves as a staging ground for the Inquisition. My sources are to be trusted, and they usually are. They brought him here for what they call processing. Doubt they'll keep him here for long, though. If we want to get to him, it's now or never. It's a funky group of armed guards walk out of the museum, pushing a gurney with a large steel container on top of it. As they wheel it out into the open, a truck approaches. The operatives start preparing to load the crate onto the vehicle. You scan the area, trying to take a head count. Tamika beats you to it. I can at least 7, probably more inside. We should do this quietly, take them out one by one. Raoul frowns. I say we go in, guns blazing, figuratively speaking. There's more inside. Let them come. The more the merrier. Why don't I talk to them? How about I try and talk to them? Maybe I can get us in without raising hell. They both look at you. There's no other way to put it, like you are a complete and utter idiot. I can do it. What? I can do it? Look at each other. You want to talk to the Second Inquisition. That's the plan. It's gotta be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Offense intended. Thing raises an eyebrow, giving you a look that, well, calling it patronizing would be the understatement of the century. Give me a chance. And I can be pretty persuasive, alright? Just give me a chance. Yeah, we're not doing that. Okay, so it's either snaky snaky or stabby stabby. Let's try the stealthy approach. Tamika's right. We should get in quietly, take them out one by one. Tamika nods in silence. Fine, let's do this already before you two bore me to final death. You split up, aiming to cover as much ground as possible, sticking to the shadows. You advance, keeping track of one another's progress. You hardly even notice Tamika. As Tamika takes out the first guard, not a peep out of him. Trying to keep up, Raoul kills the one to your left. He's sloppy, takes his sweet ass time, bleeding the guy out. With his dying breath, the man lets out a yelp, drawing the attention of one of his comrades. With the guard fast approaching, you ponder your options. Slice his throat with your fangs. As the guard walks by you, you leap out of the shadows and use the sharpest weapon you have on you, your fangs, to slice his throat open. With his windpipe severed, he lets out a silent gurgle. As he expires, carefully, you lay his dead body on the dirt. Looking to the side, you notice Raoul looking back at you, and eyes looking almost semi-impressed. 3 down, 4 to go. You keep a steady pace, moving across the courtyard, picking out the guards one by one. Tamika does her part, 3 to go. Raoul gets messy again, at least this time he's quiet. With only 2 of them left, you pick one for yourself and gesture at one of your fellow ferals to take care of the other. Tamika's quieter, but Raoul's closer. Which one will you choose? Let Raoul do it. You know, it's Raoul, that's the encouragement he needs. You can see him grinning like an idiot as he sneaks up to one of the guards. The grin soon turns out to be very fitting. Instead of dispatching the enemy quickly and quietly, Raoul gleefully taps him on the shoulder. As soon as the guy turns around, the feral slashes him across the face, feeling the gooey warmth of his own eyeball on his cheek. The man lets out a blood-curdling scream. Startled, the final guard treads towards you. As the 3 of you approach him, the dire reality of the situation hits him like a ton of bricks. Paralyzed with fear, he keeps shifting his aim from you to Tamika to Raoul. He is severely fucked, and he knows it, and since you're standing close to him, you might as well do the honors. Time for just desserts. Walk over to the quivering mess that mere minutes ago thought himself the toughest of the tough. Before he can react, you slap the gun out of his hands, lean in, and smile. Hi! Half a second later, your fangs are already halfway to his windpipe. The blood tastes sour with a hint of cowardice and regret. Could have gone out with a bang, choose to go out with a gurgle. Oh well. With this SI operative taken care of, you turn your attention to the container sitting in the middle of the courtyard. Using your combined strength, you make quick work of the steel door. As you walk in, the moonlight from behind you illuminates a twisted figure huddled on the floor. It's hard to believe that the thing lying before you, beaten and tortured within an inch of its unlife, is the same creature you fought back at the cemetery. What the fuck is that thing? The boogeyman. Well, it's the boogeyman, Raoul. Turns out he's real. Who knew, huh? His lips move silently as if searching for the right words. He looks to you, then turns to his sister as if waiting for a sign. For a moment, Tamika just stands there. She looks down at the scarred one, the once fearful bogeyman whose very mention could strike terror in the hearts of her tribe, now reduced to a whimpering pile of flesh. Finally, she turns to you with a look of childish innocence mixed with confusion, then she looks back at the scarred one. You can tell she's lost. Tam, what the hell are you waiting for? Let's kill this thing and get out of here. You right? You sure? Somehow doesn't seem right. Sure that's what you want? Look at him. It's as if he's dead already, in all ways that matter anyway. You fucking kidding me? We came all this way just to back down now? Stop talking. She's quivering, clenching her fist. You can tell she's about to reach a decision. Better than this. Remember, you don't have to do this. You don't have to become like him. Suddenly, the very air around you seems to thicken. You look over to Tamika. She's not quivering anymore. She walks up to the scarred one. The pitiful creature presses itself to the corner in a desperate and futile attempt to crawl away. Without a word, she grabs the creature by the ears, sinking her claws to the side of his head. She looks him dead in the eye. Her voice cuts through the air like cold steel. Stay out of my territory. With fluid motion, she rips the chain off the wall. The pitiful shadow that was once the scarred one scurries off into the night. Raoul seems flabbergasted. Tam, what the hell are you doing? Carving her own path. Standing outside the steel container, the 3 of you take a moment to gather your thoughts. You look at one another, at the blood staining your hands, clothes, and face. In the pale moonlight, it appears black and shiny, like a fresh ink stain on a fresh sheet of paper. Without other words, you head back toward the city lights. The journey back takes longer than it did in the other direction. With bits and pieces of the Second Inquisition still stuck to your clothes, you decide to play it safe by sticking to back alleys and cutting through the dark corners of the city. Tamika stays several steps ahead. Both you and Raoul are quite content to follow her lead. You can tell that these last few nights taken a toll on her, but not necessarily in a bad way. She seems stronger, somehow confident, more in tune with herself. Soon the awkward silence proves unbearable enough that you're willing to risk making small talk with Raoul. Not sure what happened back there. You know, I'm still not sure if I understand what happened back there. You wouldn't. It's not something one of your lineage could understand. Our lineage, we have a special relationship with the beast. We can either let it control us or become attuned to it. It's a constant struggle marked with difficult choices. I think Tam just made one of them. Pondering what you've just heard, the rest of the trip barely registers you. To your surprise, you suddenly find yourself back at Prospect. Tamika keeps walking. She strides through the park gate like a queen of old, returning after a victorious conquest. want to call her out to her, but Raoul stops you with a gesture. Not yet. Give her some time to process all this. She's letting you know when she'll let you know when she's ready. And hey, you did alright. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're still an asshole, but yeah, thanks. He smiles at you, wonders never cease. See you around. And with that, he follows his sister's footsteps. A weird smile creeps onto your face as you meld into the New York night. Okay. Unread. Regent! Every Chantry has a regent. The regent is responsible for the tutelage of all other Tremere in the domain. While the regent may not teach them personally, she must ensure all Tremere are being educated. The regent's other duties extend to the clan's protection in the domain and sometimes its representation on the Primogen Council. Chantry, traditional name for the Tremere's headquarters in a city, usually part shelter, part library, and part laboratory. Baron, as its most basic, a baron is a strong anarch who controls territory and wields authority over those living in it. One of the most common types of barons is a lick who has a city, neighborhood, or even just a building. The other common type is a baron who attempts to control an entire city on his own, a local strongman who behaves suspiciously like a Camarilla prince. Retainer, a human who serves a vampiric master. Kindred rarely go without at least a few of these mortals, both for convenience and protection. Blurry, the consumption of another kindred's blood to the point of the victim's final death. Vampires may not only lower their generation permanently through this abhorrent practice, but also incorporate the target's very nature and spirit into themselves. Well, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I had a lot of fun. If you want to see previous streams that I've done, go check out my YouTube channel. Link is in my bio. If you guys want to see me about to stream something, go check out my Twitter. Link is also in my bio. Or check out my Instagram as well. I post my stuff there. Link is also in my bio. If you guys want to do any of that, you can check out my schedule here on Twitch, or you can check out my schedule right here. This is just for this week. I do plan to stream this Sunday. Hopefully it does come true, but if not, I will tell you guys if that doesn't work out. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow. Do whatever the hell it is you guys want to do. Hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you are, and I shall see you guys real soon. Bye!